T20 World Cup qualifier supported by Dream 11 as it's a battle of the unbeatens. Scotland taking on Sri Lanka in Group A action. And I'm Peter Della Penna, joined by Isabel Joyce. And a short while ago, Isabel was out in the middle for the coin toss between the two captains.
Good evening and 1,000 welcomes to you wherever it is in the world that you're joining us from for this ICC Women's T20 World Cup Global Qualifier clash between Scotland and Sri Lanka. For the toss, I have the two captains with me. From Scotland, Catherine Bryce. From Sri Lanka, we have Chamari Atapattu and match referee GS Lakshmi. Catherine, you've got the coin.
Heads is the call. It's heads. Ball first.
Chamari, come and join me. You have won the toss. What have you elected to do and why?
We're going ball first because I'm pretty confident about my bowling lineup. And last couple of games we always went to chase, and so we decided ball first.
So you won pretty convincingly on day one, but it wasn't all Sri Lanka because you did have a bit of a scare. What will you be learning from that game and taking into today?
Actually, a different condition compared to the South Africa, because last 3-4 weeks we stay in South Africa and playing against South Africa, different condition, different opposition. So we have to adjust the condition. So the last game we struggle, but we learn a lot of things. So we try to execute our right plan, right time.
Okay, and any team news for us this evening?
Same team. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go well. Good luck, Chamari Atapattu. Catherine, come and join me. You've lost the toss. You're batting first. Are you happy with that outcome?
Yeah, I think so. Probably would have had a ball as well, but yeah, excited to get out of there and have a bat.
A pretty resounding victory on day one. So a bit of a different proposition today. Anything that you'll be looking to change?
Not a huge amount. I think when I had a bit of a slow start with the bat, but I think it was really promising how we kind of built through into that second 10. So hopefully get off to a bit of a better start and then be able to put a score on the board and look to defend it.
You've been in really good form as a team, but coming up against Sri Lanka, number one ODI batter in the world, have you had a lot of talk about her? What way are you approaching bowling to your counterpart?
Yeah, definitely got to look at a lot of the stats, but at the same time, you got to stick to your strengths. You never know what's going to come off on the day, so I think you just got to stick to your best ball as much as possible and try and defend that.
Finally, any team news for us?
Same team as the other day.
Okay, well, best of luck, Catherine Bryce. So that's the news from the middle. Sri Lanka have won the toss and they're going to bowl first.
There you have it. Scotland sent in, and Inoshi Priyadarshini has got the ball in hand for the first over. Darcy Carter is on strike. Saskia Horley is off strike for Scotland. Both these sides were very impressive on the opening day of play. Here we go. Big appeal, first ball. Priyadarshini wants it, but she's not going to get it.
Very good shout, that. Just rushed Darcy Carter. Just possibly an inside edge, saving her there.
It was mighty impressive. Going to clear mid off. Can't do it, though. Caught it extra cover. And Darcy Carter goes down just 3 balls into the match. Sri Lanka strike early.
Sure. A little bit quicker than she was expecting. Yeah, you can see how late she hit that. Hit it pretty much under her eyes, but was looking to go aerial. That's what did for her. If she tried to hit this along the ground, she might have been okay. She'd gone through the covers, but elected to go down the ground, and Scotland lose their first wicket without scoring.
Squads.
Well, Saskia Horley not out for her. Keep an eye on the two Bryces as well. They won as well. Let's think at Chamari Atapattu up the top with Vishmi Gunaratne, the under-19 star. So
this time Pearson to get behind point. It's going to be a boundary. Scotland gaining a little bit of steam after that early wicket.
Vintage Catherine Bryce waited for this one really late. What I really like is she got on the front foot. So often you see players wanting to go on the back foot when it's wide outside off. Just sent it too wide, searching for the in-swing, did Prabhadani. And no fielder in the deep on the offside.
This time again, soft hands playing very late. Catherine Bryce, back-to-back boundaries in the same region.
Well, if the first one was good, this one was even better, and that's because it wasn't a bad ball. Quite close to the body. Catherine Bryce waits really late, plays with forcing a player to
And this time hammers a sweep over square leg. Third boundary for Catherine Bryce.
She's played a couple of sweep shots up to now, but they've been based on line. Hasn't got a hold of one, but this one, the line was right and the length was right. Straight on the stumps. She's brave enough to get the hands through. The field's not set for it. And as
associate teams to help grow the game. As Bryce is looking red hot here early in the power play. Her fourth boundary.
You just cannot afford to give her width, whether it be on that area behind point. Look how long she waits. And something we've seen teams struggle with is the bounce on this pitch. She gets her eyes right over the ball, makes sure outside.
Darted in quicker and flatter, and it just provides more pace for Bryce to take advantage of. Back-to-back.
Said back foot, front foot, and didn't expect it to just happen like that. Too full. Much too full, but you don't expect it.
She spoke very positively about that. As Bryce, big appeal. And she's dragged it on. Of all the deliveries to get Catherine Bryce out, that's probably the one you would have least expected. But Sri Lanka will take.
Get that one back onto her stumps, Catherine Bryce. Her front leg goes out and it's actually hit her inner thigh and cannoned onto her stumps.
This one, half volley on the legs, flicked past deep back.
Started running in. She didn't recognise that the ball was flying to the boundary. Have a look there. She's had to change course and she's never catching up with that. She may not have cut it all added to that.
Straight back to Kulasuriya, and what a fantastic catch! Doesn't get much better than that in terms of athleticism on return chances, and Kulasuriya has done the wicket for Saskia Horley. It's 32 for 3.
Bowler Kulasuriya. She's hit it on the up a couple of times in this over, Saskia Horley, and look at that. Not as it's one of those ones not as impressive in slow motion as it was in real time, because she's going quick.
Slotting her down the order a little bit to give them a big boost in the middle, as this one strays on the legs of Lister, and it's her first.
Very quick hands, Ailsa Lister, and this shot gives you an indication because she was almost shuffling down, wanting to play down the ground, and was able.
Mid-off is up in the ring and trying to clear her. Does so, squeezes it between mid-off and extra cover, and the cover sweeper, despite being quite wide, cannot get there. It's another boundary.
The quick hands of Ailsa Lister again sends it wide of extra cover. Keeps, though, would have hit. Returns.
Edge given. So after opening with a wicket, 3 balls into play with a new ball, Priyadarshini returns in the 10th and strikes first ball. Sarah Bryce goes for 8. It's 51 for 4.
They just keep chopping and changing, Sri Lanka, and don't let any batter get settled against one bowler. This is the arm ball. Watch how this swings away from Bryce. Just the feather of an edge, and she's a walker. She was heading off.
Attacking.
To her is like an extra. Is pretty adjacent, but she goes on the second attempt. Looks to play straight, and the swing does for Priyanaz Chatterjee. Well, she gave a good chance on her first delivery to get out, but she makes no mistake the second, and Priyadarshini, she's got her 3rd wicket.
This is a game-changing spell. Was there to drive, sucked her into the shot, and the 37-year-old using all of her experience here, causing so much damage. Easy catch taken by Hasini Pereira at
Dill Harry coming on with her right arm off spin. Ailsa Lister lifts it and just lifts it straight into the waiting hands of Chamari Atapatu. What a limp end to what looked like could have been an exciting innings from Ailsa Lister. Just went on the attack too soon. Just give yourself one delivery to see what she's going to do.
When we saw a Superwoman effort earlier, laying out full extension, this was more standing in the phone booth, waiting for the ball to come.
It's looking like Reverse sweep from Lorna Jack. Catches it fine. Gets good action over the top of the ball as well. And that one will trickle over. Now, Dilhari continues. Reverse sweep from Lorna Jack. Catches it fine. Gets good action over the top of the ball as well. And that one will trickle over. That will give her some heart in the middle, because it's been tough going for her so far.
Tough going for everybody. First boundary since the 8th over. And how? There's that reverse sweep that is a shot unorthodox.
20 or 30 against the bigger nations. Cut away by Catherine Fraser. Just too wide from Atapatu. And trickles over the rope. Catherine Fraser, she hasn't had it her own way, but she gets her hands right through that one and punishes Atapatu for a rare missed line.
When Sri Lanka have erred, it's usually been wide outside off. We saw Catherine Bryce do this for every one of her boundaries, and now again, Catherine Fraser.
To thwart. Floated up and beautifully timed by Lorna Jack. Too full from Dilhari. She timed that to perfection and found the gap. That was the important part. Pushed it through that tight offside field for another boundary.
Well, for those who don't know, Lorna Jack is a police officer in her day job. Dilhari fought the law, and the law won on this occasion through extra cover. Great shot from
Swinger, quicker and straight through Catherine Fraser. Well, we just talked about a partnership growing, and Dilhari has broken it. Another change up from the talented spinner. She's straight through Catherine Fraser, who wasn't expecting the fierce change in pace. And Fraser goes for 9.
Very clever from Dilhari. Just zing this one flat and full. Much quicker.
For her team, though. Maybe another match-winning performance. Nope. It's straight back to the bowler. Well, Dilhari just takes the catch, says thank you for my cap to the umpire and Rachel Slater. After a long walk out into the middle, all that preparation and all that upspeak. And
from the highs of 2 nights ago, this is a very deep low. Threw the shot just a touch early. Slight leading edge.
Lorna Jack dances down and once again manages to bisect the fielders at mid-off and extra cover. It's not an area that she favours, but she's being brave. She's taking on the field there because she's had the other areas that she likes to score in plugged. She's showing all of her experience and trying to give her team a bit of a chance in this match, because you just never know.
Great use of the feet here. Just a brief shimmy down the track. Gets it by Karunaratne.
A little tickle around the corner. Well, cheeky stuff from Lorna Jack. She's made Chamari Atapatu chase that one all the way to the rope. And I think the supporters on the sideline for Scotland are finding some voice as they watch Jack go back to back.
We saw the power. Now we see the finesse. Just a very delicate tickle. And it's got enough to
Upish and come back. Really smart stuff from Kumari. Just held it back in the hand. She knew Lorna Jack was on the attack. Just held it back ever so slightly and drew Jack forward. Such a dangerous pitch to bat on if you don't wait for the ball under your eyes.
Kumari to Dilhari. Easy as
launches it long. More high than long though. Chamari Atapatu takes the catch, and that brings about the end of an underwhelming Scottish innings. Just never got going. They had the right intent, but the Sri Lanka are the two that really stand out for me. Catherine Bryce.
Uganda, Scotland and USA.
Vintage Atapatu. You cannot give her that width at that length because she walks down, lifts that one. Will that one be the one that makes it all the way? No. 1, 2, 3 bounces over the rope, and she held the shape beautifully. Gunaratne.
Didn't get to the rope in the air. Might not be on the Instagram story, but it's still good enough for 4 runs. Very clean strike by Vishmi Gunaratne. Coming down the track, beautiful footwork and beautiful pose. High elbow. Everything's so delightful about that shot.
Elegant bowler, really good over up and easier to take.
Pendron, all of her lead.
Second over. 2 straight. And there's no fielder down there. These two face each other in franchise cricket, and that's an area that Atapatu really enjoys facing Catherine Bryce. When she gets that bit too straight, she's also too full, and the field's not set for it.
One of the interesting things that Chamari Atapatu said when I talked to her before the tournament is taking on this challenge of facing Catherine Bryce is something that she's relishing with shots like this, both sides of the wicket, first through fine leg, and now such grace. That delicate touch, splitting the keeper in short third to go for back-to-back 4s.
She's such a difficult player to bowl to, and that's because she plays it all around the ground. Look at this touch. Doesn't care that there's a slip in place. Doesn't care that there's a third there. Just threads the needle. Uses the pace of Catherine Bryce. And
well, that one went where Chatterjee wanted, but Atapatu able to find the gap backward and point, somewhat like Catherine Bryce's 4s earlier on in the day. That's ended that over with a boundary.
This is what I'm talking about. Measuring stick player. That's a good ball to most batters, but to Chamari Atapatu, it's a boundary ball, and you learn the difference when you're facing an elite player. The more opportunities.
picked up by Chamari Atapatu. Saskia Horley wide to open up, then a single, and now the 50 is brought up by Atapatu. Straight in line and just helped in its way over the fielder's head. 50 up for Sri Lanka.
Easy outside leg, some free license to...
The margin for error is so small. Because if you get it a little bit wide, that's what happens. Smeared through the offside. You cannot bowl that to Chamari Atapatu as she marches on.
Smeared indeed. Plenty of mustard behind this shot. Flying this high over cover point. And Chamari Atapatu, when you give her that much width, you saw what happened when Priyanaz Chatterjee gave just a fraction of them. You're asking for trouble.
Wide again. This time goes along the ground but finds the similar gap, and it's back-to-back boundaries.
Well, I'll tell you what, Kavisha Dilhari had career best. Chloe Abel. Edge again. And another missed chance. 2 in the over. And to add insult to injury, goes all the way to the rope for 4.
Abel appealing. I think she thought that took the pad, but it hit the bat, given as runs. Coming across that one, Atapatu, and you can see by the way that the ball has gone that it's hit the bat, because it wouldn't have gone there off the pad. Lorna Jack not able to chase that one.
Nice loop from Maksud. It's going to be another 2 here. A lot of distance to cover for Darcy Carter. And in spite of her best efforts, she can't deny a second run to Chamari Atapatu, who brings up a half century. And you hear the whistles from the Sri Lanka supporters. The boundary riders for Scotland. Cover sweeper, long on, long off, deep square leg. And doesn't matter. Chamari goes straight over the bowler, straight into the sight screen. Boundary to end the over. And it's 78 for none after 8.
Well, this, you can't call this anything but beautiful, because it's not a bad ball. It's just so good from Chamari Atapatu.
Down in 1 over off of Chloe Abel. And that time, nothing she could do about that. No chance on offer there. Just clean striking from Vishmi Gunaratne. Boundary through wide mid-on. Takes Sri Lanka now down into single digits towards the target.
Have a look at that balance. Head over the front foot. All of her weight was in fact on balances, Gunaratne. That's what sets her. It depends whether you think the bowlers, as Gunaratne climbs into that one and sends it for another boundary and brings that required runs down to 6. So did Dilhari have a bigger impact on the game?
Gunaratne bisecting the gap on the boundary with surgical precision here. A deep mid-wicket and a deep square leg in place, and neither one had any chance at that one. So it's a chance for them to rebuild their confidence after the shellacking they're taking here. And it continues with Chamriatapatu. Another boundary, this time over mid-wicket, to wrap up the 10th over and level the scores. They're just one away from victory.
Well, too short. Atapatu had decided she was going to run down the wicket, but changed her mind and instead stood still.
Brought into the ring. And this time flicked past Lorna Jackett's square leg. It's going to trickle almost to the rope. And Darcy Carter lets it trickle in. It's not going to count as a boundary. The batters crossed before the ball reached the line, but 2 batters, that's all that was needed for Sri Lanka. Rishmi Gunaratne, the women's under-19 captain from last year's under-19 World Cup in South Africa, partnering with the legend of the game in Chamriatapatu. The future on offer as well as the present for Sri Lanka, getting them across